So about a year and a half ago, I was looking for license renewal credits, and the Introduction to the Blend Flip course was being offered at the high school. So for the credits, I decided to take it. And I just was really intrigued by the possibilities that I learned could be used with this type of instruction. And I really felt like I had a class that could really benefit from flipping the instruction. I chose to flip my Algebra 2 class. And probably I chose that class because there's a real wide, various learner in there. I've got kids that have come from advanced Algebra 2, which are, ready to take off and go at a faster pace. I've got kids that are just kind of struggling to get through it. And so I had such a wide range of skills. I was looking for something a little bit different. I was very teacher-centered at that time, and I could tell that I was having a hard time having them make that connection between what we were learning and really being able to apply it. So I wanted to try and flip the instruction. They could watch the videos outside of class, and then they could come in and actually collaborate together and work with me to get the questions and their assignments done. So I really, saw the possibilities. And so I went ahead and I took the second class, which was the blended instruction. And then I took the third class last summer, which was the designing the lessons, and then the fourth class last fall as far as the assessments and the activities go. And I've just tried to slowly implement more and more into that Algebra 2 curriculum. I just kind of emphasized that I really wanted to get away from standing in front of the class and just giving them the information. I wanted more interaction. I wanted to have the kids have more math conversations. And so I felt like if I could somehow get that instruction in a different way, like them coming in already having seen that maybe that would give more class time to that. And that's the biggest benefit I guess I was looking for in that regard. I've seen other benefits as far as, when I'm gone, if I have to miss a day and I have everything laid out on PowerSchool for them, an ed puzzle to watch for the instruction, and then the assignment to work on, it's really been a smooth transition. And it's not that, me being in the classroom is not as much of a necessity as it was in the past, because I just see the kids just pick up right where they left off. If they miss a class, they can either work in advance. If they know they're going to be gone, they can do the things ahead of time. Or when they come back, I just have to say, go to PowerSchool and you'll see what we did. And so it really helps them to get caught up, and the expectations are all laid out in that regard. It really gives the responsibility to the student. If they want to work faster than what we're going, they can do that because they can go on to the next video, they can go on to the next assignment, or, if they've been gone, it's there for them to make it up at their pace. So I really feel like it gives the student the freedom to learn at their rate of learning. I still have to pull some kids along, but it just gives that more motivated learner the opportunity to get going and go at their pace. So I like that. I'm going to go ahead and work towards the Drake online certificate. So the next class for that is going to start next week, I believe. So I will be starting that and just, again, looking to continue to bring more things into that setting. Well, you'd walk in and everybody would have their computers out and open to our learning management system, which is PowerSchool. For each topic we have, it would be broken up into sections, and they would have, dominated by Ed Puzzle right now. I'm using Ed Puzzle because I can track whether the kids watch the videos or not, and I can also track how they answered their questions throughout the videos. I don't spend a lot of time looking at how they answered them, but just more so, did they watch it in its entirety? So they'll watch an Ed Puzzle, and then they'll have a textbook assignment or a worksheet, whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish that day. And then they sit in pods. They sit in groups of 3 and 4 students. And those students will then, after they've, if they've watched the video ahead of time, that's ideal. Then they can just sit down and start right on their assignment. And they'll be working together to get that done. I'll walk around the room and I ask kids questions about the video, what they saw, what they learned, what they're doing on the assignment. And that's pretty much how the class period goes. I've seen a lot of different responses. I've had kids that are upset. They don't want to change the way that we've been doing things. And And somehow they felt like I was asking them to do more versus, this is really isn't asking them to do more. It's the same thing. So I kind of had to convince kids that to give it a try. I've had kids say, I can't learn this way. And that's, something that we're working through. And I understand that there are times that I do give lessons still on the board because it's a topic that either I don't have a good video for, or it's just something that I need to add things to. And so I do spend some time at the board still giving lessons. My classroom is still open for kids to come in and ask questions. I still encourage that, outside of time. If you're not getting it during the class period, you need to be coming in the morning or coming in after school. So we still have that interaction time. But I think as they've gotten used to it, I think it's just kind of become, okay, this is what we're doing. And so they've kind of given up a little bit of the fight and just have kind of, they're trying it. I think as we have some middle school teachers that are doing that here, and I think as they get used to it and that expectation is built, I think it will get better. My biggest battle is getting kids to watch the video outside of class. They, for whatever reason, and it's kids that don't generally do their homework either, they're not willing to watch the 5 to 7 minute video before they get here. So typically we do start class by watching a video and then going into the assignment. And I'm hoping to get to the point, especially when that blend flip class is offered and they know that's the expectation, that they will come in having already watched the video and give us that, extra 5, 10, 15 minutes to, have the discussion and have the extra collaboration time.
Right.
I think you take for granted the little things like watching a video. That should be easy, but you have to remind them that they can pause it. They can take notes on it. Whenever you want to rewind something that you didn't quite get or hear, run it backwards, and they can do all those things, but they don't generally stop to think about that. And so you do have to teach that. You have to teach all the little things. I just think it gives them more ownership of it, so they can work. If they're motivated and they want to go, they can go. Again, not all my kids are motivated, so I am having to keep kids on task and say, hey, you didn't watch that video, and try to keep them going and up to speed. I think sometimes kids with that freedom of time too, keeping them on task and doing what they're supposed to be doing, is still a challenge like it is in any normal classroom. I want kids to come in to learn the material. How can I learn the material? Well, I can talk to my group mates about this rather than I'm going to sit on my phone until the teacher tells me to get off my phone. Just to, I guess, some self-motivation and say, okay, here it is. Here's what we're going to learn today. Let's go do this. And rather than waiting on me, and then if I'm up front, I'm spending a lot of time giving them the information. Some kids need more examples than others. And so I just think that overall, it just can you get the major part of the information to them. This is what we're doing. This is the gist. And then I can walk around and have that conversation with them and find out who's not getting it. And you can have that conversation with them to try to pull them up to speed, or kids that are getting it, and even have a conversations that can take it beyond. And where do you see, similarities? Where do you see differences? I just think you get more out of that conversation than if you're just standing there and trying to give them the examples and the concept. They're not just listening and taking it in. They're actually having to have conversations with their classmates to talk about what they know. Mm-hmm. And again, if you can have a conversation about it, you are grasping it versus just hearing and watching someone else do it. I don't do a lot of assessments online at this point because math is typically a pencil and paper type of class, and I still probably would always test that way, but I'd like to implement just some quizzes to give them an online experience for that, or just maybe something that's maybe more like an exit ticket that's on the computer that I can quickly grade and say, yes, they've gotten this. And that's just something I have to build into my topics that I can put in my Power School setup. What I've been most excited about is just hearing kids talk about math and hearing a student explain something to another, and you just, you see the light bulb go on for them, or you're just hearing them be able to explain it, that they have it. And I guess I think there's more individual interaction between me and my student versus just me and the class as a whole. And so I've enjoyed that. I can't say that I've seen a great increase in grades or anything like that. I don't have the statistics for that. I certainly haven't seen anybody do worse because they're learning this way. And I just think because we're a one-to-one school, they're carrying that computer around, and I feel better about them using it in my classroom to learn the information. And I think when they get to college, they're going to have to do that at some point. They're going to have a computer. They're going to have to take a class and learn through that. And I think they'll look back on this experience and be thankful for it, because I think it'll give them some direction and some knowledge on how to be a learner with a computer. I think part of it is just being an active learner myself and being willing to learn something different and a new way of doing things. Sometimes it's hard to do things differently, but yet we need to. There are things we need to do differently. And so it's been exciting for me. And I've done this with one class. Last year I just flipped one lesson or one chapter. And this year I've done the whole semester this way. I did a little bit in the beginning, first semester, but I've entirely flipped second semester. So it's just a little more each time that you're adding to it. And I'm just thinking of the possibilities of other classes now too, and just trying to get things turned around for them as well.